How you doing, guys? Hope you're all well. Welcome to another edition. And today we're going to be talking about a particular Miss or Mrs. Valentina Gomez. See, the woman who's tried to burn her way into American society, into the political system, at least, but yet instead she managed to just burn her own credibility beyond repair. If you ask me, you might be, or you're likely maybe to know her from some Islamic flame throwing trick that she done where she burnt the Quran, or clips of her burning um, books or whatever it is. Now it's very easy for me to just trade insults with her, but all that does is keep a very important topic dumb. See, when the conversation stays at that level, you see the grown ups among us just end up leaving the room. So by bringing it to you in this calm manner, I guess we gonna reverse the mindset and make the ones who only want to cause division leave instead. Because let's face it, those people, they just don't like real facts. Now, you may have come across statements from figures like Gomez and others who make bold claims about religion, about culture, about identity of such. See, today we're not here to trade insults, like I said. We're here to break down all those claims using facts, using evidence, and maybe some clear reasoning as well. Firstly, though, let's talk about some of the stunts that she's been pulling. I saw something where she infiltrated a Muslim civic event wearing hijab, only to end up ripping it off and then shouting Islamophobic slurs. She also released a video of her with a mock execution of a migrant. See, now, when I sit and think about it, it's not bravery. This isn't bravery. It actually seems like a desperate search for some kind of viral moment online. And yet, we end up seeing who is cheering her on. Earlier this month, the UK government, after letting her have a visa, officially banned her from entering this country, citing that her history of hate speech, went against what the values are of Britain. But guess who invited her? It is that little guy, Stephen Yaxley Lennon. Who's he better known as? Yep, Tiny Tommy. Tommy Robinson. So let that sink in. Let that tell you something about what him and his flagpole patriots, how they endorsed this person. That tells you everything you need to know about what he and his followers are actually about. See, now they claim that it's all about the UK, but it's not about the UK. They claim it's about protection, but it's not about protection. It's all about Islamophobia and racism. It's plain and simple. Call it what you want. Lie to yourself if you must. See, when your primary allies are all banned from major social platforms and mainstream political discourse, you aren't leading no movement. You're only leading a circle of the deplatformed. Is there such a word? But I'm going to use it anyway. So let's look past the smoke. See, Valentina Gomez isn't a political leader, no chance. She's actually just a performance artist whose only claim to fame is actually hate. See, she represents a very specific modern phenomenon. Phenomenon. I can't say that word. But anyway, the influencer who mistakes engagement numbers for votes. That's what she is. She's a bit, she thinks that because maybe 10,000 people or so liked a video of her being a bigot, she thinks that's now she's the voice of a movement. But as the cycle proved, that likes don't translate to ballots. In reality, all she is a fringe figure whose own party treats her like some kind of radioactive liability. And it's there. There's a lot of statements. about that, to be fair. See, Valentina, constantly, she brands herself as some kind of winner, some kind of alpha. Let's look at the actual math. Because, like I said, I've done my homework and the numbers don't have agendas. Excuse me. In Mississippi, 2024, she ran for the Secretary of State. She even used these kind of shock tactics in the book. She burned books, she insulted opponents, she went full tid on Islamophobic rhetoric. And guess what the result was? She finished sixth place. She didn't just lose, she was humiliated. She pulled in roughly 7% of the vote. See, I've been doing my homework. 93% of the Republicans in that area looked at her and said, wait a minute, no. That's Donald Trump's people even said no. And also in Texas, in this year as well, she tried to pivot into a new state, thinking maybe a fresh audience would buy the act that she's selling. She ran for Congress this time in Texas. If I remember correctly, it's the 31st district. And guess what? She lost again. See, when you lose that badly twice in a very deep Republican, deep red area, you know, it's not just a stolen election. It's quite a clear message, if you ask me, from the very voters she claims to represent. See, they find her, and let's face it, everybody finds her embarrassing. She's currently the most successful recruiter for her opposition, to be fair, because she makes her entire platform look very unhinged. And even if you've got a little bit of a brain cell in your head, you're going to say that this woman is bad for business, especially if she represents a party that you claim that you represent. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about her primary fuel, and which is Islamophobic, Islamophobia, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure why. See, she uses these words like terrorists, the rape gangs, and invaders to describe nearly 2 billion people. She claims she wants to save us or save the West, but her facts are non-existent. Trust me, I've done the homework, and I'm sure we all know, especially the grown-ups in the room. See, I told you I've done some homework on this, and there's some crime statistics out there. Valentina frequently cites immigration crime or migration crime, whatever you want to call it, as a reason to hate Muslims. However, the data tells you different. See, now I look today in the Department of Justice, and it's constantly showed that both documented and undocumented immigrants commit violent crimes at such a significantly lower rate than those native born US or UK citizens. See, I told you I've been doing the work, so appreciate it. I haven't just come up here and just starting to babble. She advocates for banning the hijab and closing mosques. Valentina claims to be a constitutionalist, yet she is campaigning for those direct violations of the American First Amendment. So you can't be a pro American, pro UK while demanding the government dismantle the very religious protections the country was founded on. Like I said, last week she was officially banned from the United Kingdom. The Home Office, it declared her presence not conducive in the public good or the public spirit. Still quite light words considering how some Muslim people have been banned. She responded, though, in good old fashioned Gomez way by threatening to invade by boat, calling Shabana Mahmood, and get this, a dirty Pakistani Muslim. See, that's the talk of a child. not a legislator. And remember, Tommy called her here. That's the person that they want representing whatever it is that they are doing. See, the most humiliating aspect of Valentina's brand is probably the mirror. See, she was born in Colombia. She herself is an immigrant. She moved to New York, New Jersey, should I say, as a child, and she benefited from the very system now that she claims is destroying her country or her adopted country and the Western world. See, she is the ultimate. I was going to say something else, but I'll call it the ladder puller. You know, she got her, and I told you I've been doing this homework, her MBA from Tulane. She got a citizenship. She got her platform. And now she spends her time dehumanizing people who are trying to do exactly what her family did for her. This isn't patriotism. It's a deep seated self loathing projected onto a vulnerable, and I mean a vulnerable population. See, even her own family has had enough. See, her brother told you I've been doing research. Gomez, you have a brother, Jonathan. He was a public official who had to resign because of her sister's hate speech. Yep, you wrecked your brother's political career. His position was made untenable. See, when your own blood has to issue a public distancing statement to save their career, guess what? You haven't won. You've lost the people who should matter the most. See, as we sit here in 2026 or so, well, it is, not also, Valentina Gomez is a woman without a country and without a constitution. She's actually banned from the UK, ignored by the mainstream, and rejected by, I suppose, voters in two different states. And then some, I suppose. But you know what? She'll continue to post because you know why? She'll continue to use the slurs. She'll continue to try and shock you for those clicks. But remember this, guys. Honestly, remember this. We can't be mad. We have to feel sorry for her. Every time she yells, it's because she has no power. She is a footnote in the history. That's all it is. You know, at the bottom of a website, you see the footnotes. That's all she is. She's not the part of the website, not part of the main brand. It is. It's a cautionary tale, really, about what happens when you build a brand on hate and forget that eventually people will get tired of the same noise that you bring. It's going to happen to Tommy as well, if it's not happening already. It's happening to Farage already. See, Valentina, the flamethrower, is empty now. And the audience, they're going to move on. See, you're not a lion, which you claim. You're just loud. Twice defeated candidate who doesn't know when you see the show is over. So, guys, take a moment, really take a moment and say, we don't hate this woman. We have no reason to hate this woman. Her issues are her own issues. But we have to feel sorry for these kind of people. That's all it is. Maybe they're suffering from something that we don't know about because somebody who those kind of thoughts who go and spout this out against really society has to have an issue. Has to have an issue. They have to have been hurt somewhere when there was maybe in their younger age traumatic experience with their parents or whatever it be, or in life. So I hope you appreciate, guys. I try to keep it civil. I try to keep it so the grown-ups can stay in the room. I kept away from real insults, which was easy to do and probably what a lot of people feel like doing. But those people can understand. She and people like her want those insults because that's the only platform that they can go with. They can't have a real conversation with anybody else unless there's insults involved. They're just not clever enough. So, guys, anyway, like, share, and give me your thoughts on this particular person. And we'll be back for the next one very, very soon.